It's time to feel what you've been bottling up. Life in rural America isn't easy. The long hours, the constant pressures, the demands of the land, livestock, and family, it all takes a toll. We're tough and we've got grit, but somewhere along the way, toughness started meaning bottling up emotions and powering through. But here's the truth. That strategy, it's not working and it's poisoning us. Maybe you've noticed and maybe you haven't, but the numbers don't lie. We're breaking down and it's showing up in our bodies, our relationships, and in the rising suicide rates in agriculture. You don't have to carry any of it alone. There's another way. If you're ready to stop being weighed down and start moving forward, my one-on-one good movement guidance is now open. Visit the link in the show notes to learn more and see if one-on-one guidance could be for you.
I'll carry you, you carry me, we'll help each other through it. Come on and say good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about what I would do differently if I could do parenting all over again. And today we're going to talk about what I actually am doing differently, knowing what I know now about attachment and attunement. The first thing that I'm doing differently is feeling my feelings and acknowledging my emotions, which I hadn't done for a really long time, including when I was a new parent. As we talked about last week, you can't fully feel and experience joy if you're not fully feeling and experiencing the other emotions. So I am working to recognize what I'm feeling, what emotions are happening, what they are telling me. I'm approaching emotions with compassionate curiosity because emotions, again, are there to tell us something or communicate something with us. And when we acknowledge them and validate them and feel them through, they move out of our body so quick, 90 seconds quick. So that's one thing that I'm doing differently. But along that same vein, I am encouraging our kids to also feel their feelings and acknowledge their emotions. And how I'm doing that is just encouraging them that it's okay to feel what they're feeling. And I am approaching them with the same compassionate curiosity that I am approaching myself with. That sounds weird, approaching myself. But anyway, that I'm using on myself. I'm using the same compassionate curiosity on the kids, asking them questions when I am seeing something in them that they're feeling. I'm validating them in whatever it is they're feeling. Even if I don't understand it, or even if we don't get to the root of it, I am trying to encourage them to acknowledge their emotions and be able to open up and recognize them and figure out what it is those emotions are trying to tell them. And it's not just me. Tom is doing that too. We're a team. We're working together on it. When the kids are crying, it's okay to cry. You know, everybody cries sometimes. That's good. It means that you're letting out whatever it is that you've been holding on to for too long. Or it means that you're super happy, whichever way that is, or whatever those tears are coming from, if they're happy or sad tears. But we are just really trying to encourage our kids not to shove down or ignore their feelings or what their emotions are trying to tell them. The other thing that I have started doing that is so good for me, and I think it's so good for the kids, is that when, tempers are running hot and emotions are being let out, but in a more ragey kind of way, instead of getting myself all energized with that anger and rage and yelling or throwing out discipline, I just go and I grab the kids and I hug them. And sometimes they're not super receptive to the hug, but if we just embrace for a little while, pretty soon they soften and I soften. And the results, it sounds so silly and way too simple, but the results of me just embracing the kids and holding them when they're having big feelings have been so incredible. I mean, so incredible. So much better than when I was raising my voice or getting angry at them or, throwing out this discipline or this consequence or that consequence. Just being literally attached to each other helps us come down from that high energy, that high ragey energy. And like I said, the results are amazing. Like we move past whatever the conflict was a heck of a lot quicker than we did if I escalate to their level. And like I said, sometimes they're not really receptive to the embrace, but they do soften so quickly. And it softens me. It really, really softens me. It's way, way better than what I had been doing before. And I feel like since we have implemented these two things specifically, the encouraging them to talk about whatever it is they're feeling and open that line of communication for them when they are having emotions and they don't know what to do with it, or just offering that open line of communication and that guidance, and also not escalating the already escalated situation further. The kids are so much more inclined now to come to us and ask us questions and just have really great conversations. And I mean, that could also be a product of them being a little bit older, but I don't think that's fully what that is. I think that if we hadn't started implementing some of these things, they wouldn't be as likely to come to us and be open with us. Like just the other day, I had a conversation with one of them. We have been gearing up for fair. Actually, this episode, if you're listening to it on the day that it releases, fair or our horse show was a week ago. So I'm recording it the night before the horse show. But if you're listening to it on the day it releases, fair is already over. But we've been practicing with our horses. And actually, this has been a reoccurring theme with all the kids. But when we go and practice in the arena at the fairgrounds, it's different than when we practice on the ranch. The kids are so much more confident on the ranch riding their horses. When we get into the arena, they're a little less confident. And it shows in the way that their horses move. And so we've been talking a lot about how we need to be confident leaders for our horses, and they can feel that through our bodies. And one of the kids is riding a really young horse, and they've done all the work, all the training. They started this horse. He's 3 now. They started him last fall as a 2-year-old, and he's coming along so, so well. But one night when we were practicing at the arena, they were having a really hard time with the horse. It appeared as though the horse was not doing what they were asking or going where they were asking. And they got really, really frustrated, like super frustrated. And I was like, well, do you want me to get on the horse and see what I can do? And of course, when I got on, being more confident, the horse did everything that I asked and rode off just plumb fine. And that made the kid more frustrated. So we had a good conversation about it. And I said, are you really frustrated with the horse? And they said, no, I'm frustrated because I think that I can do these things and then I can't. And I said, well, that's part of the problem. I don't think I can't. I tell the horse and tell my body, okay, we're going to go over here. And then we go, and I'm confident in that. And when you are confident, then your horse is confident. So we had that conversation. And then a few days later, they came back and they asked, Mom, what can I do to get my mind more confident? So like that is so like, I count that a huge win that we have that attachment that's strong enough that they can come ask those kind of questions. And they were asking specifically about mindset. And like, it was a great conversation. And I basically said, well, is there a horse that you are really confident riding? And they named off a couple. And I was like, okay, well, just pretend this young horse is one of those horses. And you know what? Since then, that's what they've been doing. And they've been getting along fabulously. So I'm not saying all these things to toot my own horn. I'm just saying that I'm trying things now that I know about how important attachment and attunement are. I am trying things to build those attachments and be more attuned to our kids that are kind of counter to the way that we've been taught. I've been seeing a lot of things on the internet about, oh, we need to be more strict with our kids. My parents were strict with me, and kids these days, it shows that parents aren't strict enough. And I just don't think that is accurate. I think that what is more true is that we don't need more strictness. We need more attachment. And when our children are strongly attached to us, they will be more willing to listen and converse with us and be open with us and not be little hooligans. I'm kind of getting on a soapbox, but I just really, really, really in my heart of hearts believe that all of these issues with society today are rooted in our attachments. And so knowing what I know now about attachment and attunement and how it affects our kids, I am doing things different. And so far, I mean, the jury's still out. Our kids are still pretty young, but so far it looks like it's working. It's going really well. And with that, until next time, draw good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.